The final inductee this evening is a gentleman by the name of Tim Wilkinson. I really don't know Tim, but I know what he's done through doing a little background research, and I know that he is one of the main building blocks of the St. Peter's ice rink and complex up there, and he must be immensely proud of the number of hockey players who are now coming out of that area in the high school program and AAA, and who've gone on to better things in college and professional sports. And Tim said it was a bit of a tough go to convince people to get behind the rink, but what is evidence of his successful ventures is the fact that the mayor of St. Peter's is here tonight with Tim's family. So with that, I'd like to bring up Mr. Tim Wilkinson.
Well, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for this great honor. As I look at the other folks that are in the hall, the folks that were inducted this year and in the prior years, I really do find it kind of hard to believe that the committee considers me to be part of this group, and I'm really honored and humbled that they think that. As I reflected on what I want to talk about tonight, I thought the best thing to do would be to tell the St. Peter story briefly, because probably many people don't know what we did to bring hockey out to St. Charles County. Actually, hockey started in St. Charles County on a softball trip to Kansas City. My younger brother was good friends with Jim Hofer, who was the coach of Francis Howell, getting ready to start his second year coaching Francis Howell. And we were on a softball trip, and over some cold beverages in between games, Jim was telling me about his coaching at Valley and how he was coaching Howell. And his brother Bob, who I played with at McClure, was helping him coach the next year, and he asked if I thought about coaching. And I had not been involved in hockey for 10 plus years after getting out of high school. My hockey buddies that were more accomplished had gone off and chased a dream. And I kind of settled in with my baseball buddies and played slow pitch softball and enjoyed that for many years. And so anyway, after several beverages, I was convinced that I could be a good hockey coach, and so I said yes. So I said, okay, so how's this work? And he said, all right, so we're a St. Charles County high school team, and we practice at 6:15 a.m. on Sunday mornings at North County Recreation Ice Complex. And I was like, wow. So I can still remember the first morning that I got up, crack of dawn, still dark, drove out to North County, and pulled in the parking lot, got my skates and stick and gloves out, and started walking toward the rink, and there was a big crowd in front of the door, and so I got closer to the door and saw Jim, and I said, what's going on? And he said, oh, I think the rink guard overslept. That happens a lot at 6:15 on Sunday mornings. So I thought, oh my goodness, what did I get myself in for here? So anyway, that was about 1991, and about the same time in my real job, I worked for the city of St. Peter's. I still work for the city of St. Peter's. I appreciate the mayor being here today. Len Pagano, who was an alderman back then and can remember what we did when we brought the Recplex to St. Peter's. We were in line, or we put ourselves in line to try to bring the Olympic diving facilities to St. Peter's in 1994. Earlier, like I said, around 91, we had offered land if they would build the aquatics complex in St. Peter's, and the St. Louis folks politely turned us down. We were too far away, and they were going to pass a tax increase in St. Louis County, and they were going to build it at UMSL. So while they were working on that, we decided that since we were interested in the complex as a city, we started working on a recreation complex, and as the tax issue failed in St. Louis, it came around full circle, and then we were suddenly the venue for the aquatics. And we were going to build we were going to build a pool, and we were going to build a gymnasium like any other city does. I guess I was the right place at the right time. The president of Howell Hockey at the time who's here tonight too, Tom Connors, at the front table here. He's a longtime St. Peter's resident, and with the opportunity of the city building a complex, we just couldn't let that go by. So Tom worked the outside politics, I worked the inside politics. And basically, I think we just pestered everybody until they finally just gave in and said, fine, we'll build a rink, just leave us alone. Not to be deterred when they finally said that they were going to include a rink in the complex, the mayor then at the time, Mayor Tom Brown, It was October of 1993, and we needed to start a hockey club, and we needed to get the word out. And so Mayor Tom Brown declared, there's a city proclamation on one of the tables out there where he declared it Hockey Fun Day in St. Peter's on October 10th, 1993. Now, we were pretty much crazy and sure that hockey could come to St. Charles County, but Jim Hofer and I were talking about earlier this week. I said, can you imagine if we got them to build a rink and we did this Hockey Fun Day and nobody came? And it never dawned on us that that could have happened. But we were lucky we didn't. We publicized it. The Blues alumni got behind it. John Winsick was instrumental in getting the Blues alumni out there. We had some Blues rookie players at this Hockey Fun Day. The USA hockey national team was in town, as it turned out. They came out to sign autographs. We organized games, beat the goalie, radar shots, all that. Had the Royal Oaks hot dog wagon that we sold hot dogs and soda that they donated. That was our treasury for the hockey club. And lo and behold, 1,300 kids showed up. It was pretty amazing. We took those proceeds from the hot dogs and worked on our registration and got that mailed out. And we had the problem then immediately that we had a waiting list. We had a couple hundred kids on the waiting list. So not only did we have 600 kids signed up to play, we had a waiting list problem as well. So the first year we started out in 1994-95, we had about 500 kids in the house program. We had a travel team at every level, and basically started out the process of the hockey. It was interesting that we had some help. The people here at this table, as a matter of fact, you start a hockey club from scratch, and Sue Cooper basically just took us by the hand and led us along the way. We had no idea how to get people registered or how to have 600 kids play hockey, so she just said, just follow me, I'll tell you what to do, and we just did everything she told us, and it worked out. We had all new coaches that we had to figure out what to train, and Jack was the in charge of the USA Hockey Initiation Program, came out to the Recplex before the rink ever opened, and we put all our coaches through the initiation program. So the neat thing is we were kind of the apple, I think, of USA Hockey's eye, because we were starting from scratch, and we had all these, wild, good ideas that we were going to do it the best way possible. So, as far as the waiting list problem, the city again came through. We convinced them to build what many of you remember, the tent rink out behind the Recplex that was 15 feet short of a regular rink, ice cold in there. It's a coach's dream. It was too cold for the parents to come. They crabbed at me all the time. We just said, drop your kids off and pick them up in an hour and a half. It was wonderful. Eventually that rink did wear out, and in 2007 we built the complex that's out there now, the South Rink, which is, I think, a beautiful double rink complex that's, I think, the envy of, hockey rinks around, and I'm very proud of that. In terms of preparing for this, I really thought about this just being a labor of love for a lot of people, and people that you probably don't even know. I mean, some of you obviously know Jim, who was involved in Valley and coached high school for a long time. I mean, if Jim hadn't asked me to coach, I don't know what, who knows what would have came about. Tom Connors, who's here, like I said, he's the president of Howell. Just a great guy, upstanding man. He gave Howell hockey class when there was only one hockey team in St. Charles County, and he later ended up serving on the Mid-States board, and Howell still has a nice presence. Joe Ramey's on the Mid-States board, and I think Howell's always been, an honorable member of the Mid-States group. My friend Gary Crowder was one of the founding board members. I wouldn't even have played hockey if it wasn't for Gary. We were friends in junior high. I played roller hockey on the steel wheel, roller hockey, skates, and Gary convinced me that I should try to learn how to hockey stop, and made me go to Olson Whitworth Hockey School and fall down 100 times until I learned how, or 1,000 times probably, until I learned how to stop, and eventually then played at Valley with him, and ultimately with the Florissant Junior B team, and a lot of those guys are there tonight. Gary's here, I know, and I was told the Bauer brothers might be here and stuff, so that some good old friends. Bill Grisey was our goalie coach at Howell. Many of you know him as the assistant coach for Webster. Bill's here. He was one of our founding board members. We had a couple key people from Creve Coeur Hockey, Mike Post and Dennis Diepenbrock. Mike's kids never played at St. Peter's. They played at Howell North. They were really accomplished players for Creve Coeur. Dennis, his older son Neil, played at a high level at Creve Coeur and was too old really to be involved in St. Peter's. Greg, though, I think played first starting as a Bantam and ended up playing at Howell. Very good goalie. The other board members, we had Howell parents, Art Wolmehauser, Marlene Foringer, Deb Keller, and then finally a couple recruits from Hockey Day, John Zotansky, who worked at a printing company, which came in handy when you didn't have a budget to send out registrations, and Alan Meyer, who had a 5-year-old kid, and he never had done anything with hockey before, but he just wanted to help. Honorary mention, I guess he wasn't a founding board member, but many of you know Larry Hoyeski, who was a longtime St. Peter's board member, came on after the first couple years. Just a great guy and just someone who just emulated everything that is good about hockey, caring about the kids. He was a physical therapist, opened up his business to anybody that was hurt or anything and treated them for free. And he was just a great guy, and I miss him. He's no longer with us, and I know many of you know him. I just look at this, and I think God has really blessed me. I was in the right place at the right time, and it was fun to be, there's only one time to be part of something that starts from scratch. And when you do that, your goals are bigger. You think broader than just your own kids or things like that. And we were on a mission. Excuse me, I'll be kind of like Larry. We both said we're kind of sappy, and we'll probably get choked up here. But anyway, we wanted to give the kids an opportunity to play the game and to get an opportunity to succeed. And there's kids that started out with us now back in 1994 that have made AAA and Central States. They played junior hockey in the NAHL and USHL. They played Division I college, and even pro. Just a couple weeks ago, Brandon Bolig took the ice for the Chicago Blackhawks, and he was on my first Mite A team in 1994 that we coached, and I coached him like the first 4 or 6 years that he played at St. Peter's, and those St. Peter's kids were so good. I told Larry that we gave Buha's 87 team such a run for his money with my AA Pee-wees that he finally just started picking those kids for his team, and that was, we were proud of that. So again, I want to thank you for this honor, and I just look forward to just hanging out with my hockey brothers out here the rest of the evening and talking about old times.